We're live. I know I was live last time because I just had a couple of messages saying you were live, but it doesn't show as live on here. The viewer count's not going up and the live chat is not initialising, so I'm just going to crack on without any of that working. And so unfortunately I'm not going to see any questions. Look at that, man. What is going on? Look. I'll get my haircut tomorrow though, people. Don't worry. But so I'm guessing many of you have just watched the latest video, and there's a hell of a lot more as well. A hell of a lot more going on. Do you know what? It just pissed me off more than anything with all this. Let me tell you. So I've had a police officer who was on the phone, Roland, I believe his name was, on the phone to my ex-wife, telling her what's allowed and what's not allowed. And part of me really wants to practice what he says is allowed and practice it on his house with pictures of his house and see how allowed it is. See if this police officer thinks that it's fair game. See how funny he thinks it is with stuff said about his wife. That's what my initial reaction was telling me to do when I listened to his belittling, unsympathetic, condescending, disgusting attitude to an innocent woman who's scared of her children. And do you know what else is disgusting with all this? Is that these people have always wanted to target me, yeah? But right now they're being directed where to go by hope, not hate. That's what's going on here. And it's being planned by hope, not hate. And Nick Lowles has an innocent wife and a little boy. I thought he'd know better than to play games with people's children's lives. That's what I thought. I thought although he's a scumbag, and they're scumbags, and they have their narrative and they have their agenda, I thought when he's sitting there on his own, in a similar situation, aiming lies. Let me clarify one of the worst lies that he's told. Total fucking lie. Yeah? He has told the rape gangs in Telford, yeah, who last week we caught up with again, and they came out armed with swords. You'll see it all in the promo when it comes out this week. I'm working for a company called Urban Scoop, who are good enough to cover my costs. They're good enough to put cameras this week at 4 people's properties, but it's maxed them out, yeah? They're good enough to support me as an employee and help me in the work I'm doing. Now, obviously, if you're a rapist, child rapist, and you're in Telford, you're not just going to be pissed off with me. You're going to look at who's the organisation behind these exposes, and you're going to see Urban Scoop. And what Hope Not Hate did is they put out a mass story that they emailed to hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people, and they said that Jenna, my ex-wife, owned Urban Scoop. Total fucking lie. They said that right now, like if you donate, yeah, to support Urban Scoop's work, or if you have done since the start of my work with Urban Scoop, they've said that those donations go to Jenna. Total fucking lie. Yeah? 100% categorically a lie. Now, what does that lie do? It tells the rape gangs that Jenna, who's my ex-wife, the mother of my children, is in charge of the company that's exposing them. Now, that's intentional by Hope Not Hate. They know it's not true. They know it's not true. And then what do? So then they put pictures of bedrooms and houses that they say my children live in. And then they share that address with others that directs them to then make approaches to that property at near on 11 o'clock at night, 11 p.m. at night. Now, what's fair game and what's not fair game? Now, I am working on something right now to show all of you who Hope Not Hate are. Yeah, you're going to find out who they are. You're going to see how they work. You're going to hear about their criminal activities as well. These are organisations that are there to destroy lives of anyone who speaks out against open border policy. You have them in the United States as well. But in the UK, their job is to target, harass, and put a target on who needs to be targeted. And then all the Antifa, or terrorists, which is what they're now trying to aim at our houses, go and do their job for them. So that's what they're doing. Now, some people may be right, yeah, but you go and you show who people are. Yeah, the people who I show, yeah, they've been raping children for 20 years. Yeah. And I go to ask them questions, give them a right to reply. They've got serious allegations against them, whether that be in businesses or houses. Yeah. I'm not just knocking on some random dude's door, am I? Yeah. I'm not just going to some random business, am I? If you're a parent and you live in Telford, you deserve to know if there's multiple victims who don't know each other. And remember this, anyone you see me going to question has not just been named by one girl, or two girls, or even three on this next episode. Many of them are named by 4 or 5 different individuals. They're named, and we hear their horrific stories of the rape and torture they've faced. I think it's important that people of Telford know who they are. Now, unfortunately, the police's response, or PC Rowland, is that his name? From Bedfordshire Police. I still don't know what to do about him, because what he says, and I've got a recording of the whole conversation, I see how he feels it if I go and do that at his house, certain things at his house, or with his wife. Whether he thinks it's then free speech. So, I hope not I have lied purposely to the public about that poor lady. You've seen the video. Poor woman. Innocent. Totally. Nothing to do with me or my politics. Nothing. Her 12-year-old daughter. Nothing to do with it. Yet they've been directed. Asians, Muslims, Pakistanis, rapists, criminals, God knows. Terrorists, who knows? Are being directed to the properties that she lives in and no longer feels safe. And why doesn't she no longer feel safe? It's not because of my work. It's because Home Not Hate directed the people there. They put a picture of her home where she lives with her daughter. But live chat's still initialising. I'd like to come on this and done a Q&A, which was the purpose of this, was to do a Q&A. But from what you've seen, yeah, as I said, a lot's been going on. I am going to be stuck in a hotel room for the next 4 days with a new editor. We've lost valuable members of our team. I've had the police contact me today. I'm having to set up new liaison for the 7th of May. 7th of May is going ahead, yeah. So make your plans to be in Telford on the 7th of May. Make your plans. And on the 7th of May, you will see an expose like no other of people who are trying everything they can now, every tactic they can. They've travelled across this country in the last 7 days to different cities, many different cities, attempting their intimidation. Mate, it doesn't really matter what you do, if you're watching this, whether it be Bugsy or your little muggy son. All you do, right, all you do is you end up in the next episode. Yeah? So say, for example, like Bugsy's son, who's made those phone calls, allegedly. Made those phone calls. You was in the car with Bobby. Well, no. Is it girlfriend or girlfriend? I even know who was in the car, bruv, with you, yeah? Making phone calls to threaten to rape my daughters. What is it with you fuckers, man? How come everything with you isn't about what you're going to do to me? Isn't about meeting me. Isn't about finding me. And then it's always about kids or women. You're savages, yeah? And actually look in episode 2, which I saw one of you get pretty upset about the way I handled your holy book, yeah? We have a real good look at your holy book in episode 2. The British public need to know what's going on here. They need to know why this is happening. They need to know why you have the attitude. I don't know one single dude who would ever, if they're beefing with someone, ring them up and say the things that you've said. But it's not just one of you that do it. It's every one of you. Like, every one of you I come across. The Benallis. The Benallis is the gang. This is their gang name, yeah? The Benallis. Some inbred Pakistani mob from Telford who target kids. Well, Benallis, yeah? I'm not a 12-year-old little girl. So your little shit, don't scare us. It's not going to work. And to everyone else to understand why it's important to support the work we're doing. Yeah? When we went to Telford last week, we went to one restaurant about 2 weeks ago for episode 3, not for episode 2, because we're trying to do them tandem, yeah. Went to a man's house who murdered a child, yeah. So we went into his business, and within 3-4 minutes, a couple of Asian lads turned up. Now this is a separate business, right? When I went to another business in a place called Wem, 45 minutes out of Telford, men turned up in minutes there when I went to ask questions. So obviously these scumbags know who's going to be getting asked questions, don't they? They know which restaurants I'm going to be going into because they know they've been raping kids. And they seem to now have teams on standby. And the problem is with these cowards, still cowards, yeah? As you'll see in our film, they turned up with what looks like a sword, but iron bars, swords, weapons. They threw rocks at us. But you still didn't actually do anything, did you? I'm not saying they won't, because they're cowards. They're only good in numbers. You can see them counting when we're in the restaurant. I could see them trying to count how many of them there are there. And more of them will come in, because that's the only way you work. You rats. So, you still didn't do anything. You made a lot of noise. But the point I'm making to people here is it's not fair for me to bring cameramen. It's important I tell these stories, yeah? It's important the British public see them. We're obviously over the target with everything they're doing. But it's important that we stay alive to tell these stories. It's important that I give my team adequate security, because what we're walking in with at the minute is not adequate security. It's not professional enough. It's not right. The BBC or any other companies like this would have top military security if they were going into any dangerous situations like this. And if there was any instance at their family's home, they'd be moved and swift out of there for however long it takes. We do not have those resources at all, yeah? Contrary to what these lying scumbags on the left say. And actually, I know everyone's in very difficult times, yeah? But our ability to do this work the way it needs to be done, yeah, is really struggling. It's struggling even more so now this last week. We've lost valuable members of our team. I don't hold anything against anyone, and I'm not saying that's the reason Danny Tomo left either. We've lost more than Danny Tomo, yeah. But yeah, if you believe the bullshit that I have millions of pounds, yeah. I've had an insolvency investigation for 12 months by the top insolvency investigation team, yeah. They come back and told Jamal and his lawyers, he hasn't got any money, yeah. So don't believe the bullshit you're reading from Hope Not Hate. They've just gone on a big grift. Once they realise that they ain't getting no money because there ain't none there, they've gone on a grift and they've asked for mass donations to try and bring lawsuits against me. And they've probably raised a couple $100,000 in the process of it without their mass lawsuits, because at the minute I was discharged from bankruptcy. I'm discharged. They can do whatever investigation they want. It's not going to get them anywhere. That's my point. Yeah? Other than the what I'd call unlawful continued persecution and targeting through lawfare. But anyway, I was hoping for a Q&A in this process, but it just says live chats and initialize it. Maybe I'll try. I've got to drive somewhere now, so maybe I'll try in a bit. Yeah? But my point of this is, I want to finish this work. We have a real powerful film for episode 2 and episode 3, and episode 4 is going to bang as well when you see what's been allowed to happen to this other family. All these episodes are. But to tell these stories, yeah, the heat ain't going to stop here. I know it's not. They're going to throw everything at it. Yeah, I think it's important that I highlighted Munchie. Munchie is a main target in episode 2. Allegations against him from so many girls as being a pivotal man, and when you hear what this man done, yeah, the allegations against him, it's barbaric, it's sadistic, it's sick what they've done, yeah. But he become friends 6 weeks ago, because we follow every move they're making. He become friends with Abdul Rahim, who's a convert. Maybe he's an innocent convert, a revert, maybe he calls himself. Maybe he just found God. Yeah? Or He's probably a prison convert, fucking moron. And they want him to target me because they'd use a stupid white convert, moron, clown, yeah, searching for a bit of identity because he's never had any, yeah, searching for a belonging because he hasn't got one, probably failed the whole way through his life. So then they give him something. They give him an ideology in a community and then they send him on a mission. And that mission might be me. So that's what the warning was about, yeah? To MI5, if you're watching this, do your job. To police officers who are watching this, I've given you recordings and the names of the men threatening children with rape. Make an arrest, for fuck's sake. Do something about it, will you? Do your job. That's all we're saying. Do your job. Because it's pretty infuriating what I'm seeing. And it's more infuriating where that poor lady's sitting in her house. To Nick Lowell's, yeah, you're treading a very thin line, man. You see if something happens at one of those properties that you're photographing and you're telling the public they're mine, it's not going to be good for you, mate, at all, yeah? It's going to be on your hands. If anything would have already happened to that poor lady and her daughter, it's on your hands. So make sure you think about how you'd feel or how your missus and your innocent son would feel if people start coming to your house, masked up, yeah? Cars started turning up at your house, yeah? Through lies. I wouldn't mind if it... Do you know what? You want to find out where I am, me personally, and you aim this shit at me personally, I think you're a scumbag, right? But what you're doing is disgusting to innocent people. You're trying to score points against me, using women and children in the crosspath of everything. And you've actually seen now that there's multiple crime reference numbers now for threats at that property, yeah? That they've got fireproof letterboxes. They're scared in their home, yeah? And that's your doing. So now you've seen that. Do the right thing, yeah? Do the right thing. You scumbag, even after their police officer has contacted you. But to anyone else, like, I'm working on something this week. I'm working on a lot of things this week. We just need a bit of help with our work because we need to hire a new editor full time. We found one, but yeah. I'm going to leave you all there because I'm just going to go over and over again. And to Munchie, to Goldie, to Bugsy, to Charlie. Charlie, you're in this one again. Bugsy, you're in this one as well. To all your sons running around with your little, thinking you're gangbangers, shotting your crack and your heroin, yeah? You're all getting named and shamed and all that, yeah? So every one of you that pipe up and think you're going to threaten someone or threaten an innocent family, there's a difference, lads. The only reason I'm coming to speak to your dad is because there's multiple allegations that he's held children down and gang raped them. So don't get pissed off with me. Get pissed off with your dad, yeah? He's the baddie here, not me. All right? Good night, everyone. See you later.